The CDC now admits and has published through articles that they smudged the data, so to say, aka lied, about a COVID drug. Now, before we get into it, I do want to take a moment, thank our sponsor, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, for not only supporting this channel, but being the hands and feet of Jesus Christ by building orphanages all over this world, by having food shelters in this country, battered women's shelters, and many other ministries. So I'm going to put their link below. Check out their ministries is what I'm asking you to do through their Giving Hope link that you'll find. You just go through this link, it'll get you there. And if they have ministries in and around you in your town, or just ministries that particularly tug at your heart, and you're going to buy a car, I recommend you buy a car from them and they can ship it to you. That way, a portion of those proceeds go right back into the ministry and not just into somebody's pocket. That link is below. Now, when COVID hit, I think all of us really look back on this and think that was nonsense. A lot of nonsense. A lot of nonsense. A lot of things that we went through and we experienced and we were told, what was the truth? Who knew? This person's lying. No, it's actually that person's lying. This person's a liar, but he works for the truth teller. I mean, goodness gracious, it was a mess. And there was one particular aspect of it which people were trying to go beyond what the CDC was recommending, how you treat COVID, by taking things like ivermectin. And a lot of people made fun of ivermectin because of obviously many medications have many uses. But for example, when I go and get antibiotics, there's also fish antibiotics that are the exact same antibiotics. So it's not like, so if I was to do that, take fish antibiotics, somebody would say, oh, look at him taking fish medication. But ivermectin was used as a drug for horses. And because of that, people make fun of them and say, oh, you're going to kill yourself and all this other things. And the CDC then put out some data that said that ivermectin causes SARS. And quite honestly, if there was some truth behind that, that would be quite frightening, especially if a person was taking it. And doctors were saying, no, it does not cause SARS. This is what a lot of people were dealing with. And right now, through Jase Medical, you can actually get emergency antibiotics and you can add on ivermectin. Now, what the CDC just came out to say is that the data was skewed, that in a lab, when they got ivermectin to produce SARS in a lab, it was manipulated by the different chemicals they used. And it was more than 100 times the dose that a human would take in a month. So if you were taking ivermectin to combat something and you kind of took a 30-day series of this stuff, it would not cause SARS. It would definitely not. You'd have to take 100 times that amount. So hopefully every time you took one pill, you'd have to take 100 pills. And after about 30 days of taking 100 pills a day, you might get SARS. But the other piece is there's other chemicals involved. In addition to that, there's no immune system obviously involved in the lab. And I believe most of this happened because the CDC wanted to push the information they wanted to push. And this was in contrary to what they were pushing. And I think that seeing something like this really kind of opens your eyes. Now, when I say your eyes were open, your eyes were already open. Much of us knew that the CDC had they had an agenda, and this was contrary to that agenda. And now, we all knew that, but at least they're admitting it. At least now they're actually saying, yes, this data was skewed, that we actually reported something differently than how it played out in the laboratory. At least they're admitting it, and that's a big first step. But, for at least the last 6 months, I've been talking about ivermectin that you can get through Chase. You can get your emergency antibiotics. Add on ivermectin to that. You can get it from a doctor, from a U.S. pharmacy that's prescribed to you specifically. So it's not like you're getting something that's made for a horse. You're literally getting the dose that is designed specifically for you from a U.S. doctor and a U.S. pharmacy. That link's below. You definitely need to have that stuff on hand. In addition to that, they have their chronic meds. Right now, I'm dealing with a heart condition, and there's 2 medications I can't get. And I am going to order one of those through Chase because I'm tired of waiting for it. Like, just to go through, and what's going on is my doctor has to communicate with the insurance company to make sure that it gets approved. And then if it does or does not get approved, eventually I get my medication, and who knows how much it'll be. Whereas then I could just get online and go to Jace and have them ship it to me, and I'm done with it like that, which I believe is the path I'm going to go. I was trusting in the system, and now I'm not, because a heart condition is a heart condition. But beyond that, chronic meds. I have right now, there were 3 medications I was taking before my heart condition. Now there's 9. So, of course, if there was something happen, like we saw happen with the virus, the internet, the computer virus, making everybody have to not get their antibiotics if you went through United, or your medications, making it difficult for anybody who went through United Health to get their medications for about 2 months. This is kind of what we're dealing with, but the CDC is not helping this process at all. But at least they're admitting that they lied about this data. So ultimately what you have, and I'll put some articles below that you can check out to get a little bit more of this information, but ultimately what took place. They said that ivermectin caused SARS. A lot of people were taking ivermectin early in 2020. Early on in 2020, they were taking ivermectin, and CDC jumped to it. Hey, it causes SARS. Gonna kill you. Look, that's gonna kill you. But what they did was they manipulated the cultures, and they gave it 100 times the amount of dosage that a man would take in 30 days. 100 times in 30 days. So if you took 100 of those pills every single day for 30 days, you might get SARS. Nor did they include the immune system into that. And now they're saying that they did this with the data, and they reported it in a way that it should not have been reported. So pretty darn interesting. I wish I could kind of peek behind the curtain and be like, well, why? Obviously they had an agenda, but what's the end game of that agenda? I wish I could know more. I don't know. If you know any more, put it in the comments below. Not to throw a bunch of theories out there, because I've never reported on this until they finally admitted it. And now that they've admitted it, I'm willing to report on it. So I'm not just throwing, theories out there. This is the real deal. So any thoughts or insight, definitely put that below. I do want to take a moment and say most people watch this channel, they're not subscribers. Click that subscribe button. It greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. Never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.